Okay, here we are. So, well, actually, we start just at the very bottom of 34a. So I'm going to go back to that. Reverend Levin, Shalom Aleichem. I've got Yaakov as well. Come on, come on. Here we go. So we just started at the very bottom of 34a.
Hi, Yaakov.
Hi.
Welcome. Nice to see you, Kanai.
Hi. Lovely to see you all.
Is the cat with you?
Hey, she is, yeah, somewhere.
Tell us you can join us on Zoom, all right?
Yes, for sure, yeah. She enjoys.
Yeah.
He's got the cat.
Yeah.
He's going to have a cats and cock.
Who knows? Oh, dear. Right. Okay. So, the bottom of 34a, and we've got a guard who I think the technical is a muppet. He's a bit of an idiot. This guy, and there's any number of these people out there in the world, and we unfortunately come across them. So, Omar, Eini Mishalim. We've got a guard, and we recall that if the guard is looking after a cow and the cow disappears and the guard says, I'm going to pay, then that means that the owner of this cow that's disappeared will gift to the guard as a goodwill gesture the opportunity to get the double payment from a thief if it turns out the animal was stolen. You with me there?
34.
34a.
34A. Yeah, so where exactly are we on the page?
We are right at the bottom of the page.
Right at the bottom.
Yeah, and it says, sorry, Pshita, beginning of the second to last line.
Got it.
Pshita. Okay, so Pshita, it's obvious, says the Gemara. Omar, if the God says, Eini Mishalim, I'm not going to pay. I'm not paying for the cow now. I don't care about the chance of getting double payment down the line. I'm just not paying. Tough.
I'm not paying full stop.
I'm not paying. No, I maintain that it was stolen, and as I'm only a voluntary guard, I don't have to pay. You know, I'm not liable for theft. That's it.
Do you ever take a load?
Pardon? He has to make an oath, but it is okay. I'm making an oath. He's not fussed. No, we're not done yet. The Chaza, then he changed his mind. Well, may you say your face is a picture. The Chaza, and he changed his mind for Amr. He said, Harina Messiah, I'm not going to pay. So, in such a case, does the owner feel beholden to this guard, this vacillating guard? So, you know what? Bottom line, he said he's going to pay. Therefore, if it turns out that it was stolen and a thief is going to pay the double payment, I'll let him have that. I'll gift him that chance because at the end of the day, he's a good guy.
What about actually in the first place?
Yeah. But then he went back on that. So, you know,
it's a period of time.
I'm sorry? Let's say straight away. And by the way, this...
I wouldn't say no. You know what? I would.
Yeah.
Something's coming his money.
Yeah. Okay, so the Gemara says, actually, we're going to go with that. Haka'oma, he did say, at the bottom line now, Haka'oma, he did say, Harina Mishana, we're going to pay. He said he's going to pay. So if that's his parting shot, I know this is not in the basting.
Yeah, you know, it's not nice.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
No, you know, sorry, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, he's going to pay. And the only thing, when he says he's going to pay, the only thing that can mean is, I'm going to pay. If he says he's going to pay, that means there's no other way to take it. I'm going to pay. So,
regardless whether he mentions, but will I get the double pay?
No, it's not. Just I'm going to pay. So, yeah, that's okay. So the Gemara said, in such a case, the owner is grateful, because at the end of the day, he says he's going to pay. And by the way, this discussion is not in the base. This discussion is in the dog and duck with the two witnesses. So they're sitting around in the boozer with their mates, and they're just talking about what happened. Oh, this terrible thing with this cow of yours, that feels so bad, and they don't know what to do. So the owner says, well, you know, either you can pay me, or we'll go to the basement tomorrow morning once our heads have calmed down, and you'll have to make your oath. So the guard initially says, you know what, I'll do that. I'll take it. But then he says, you know what, no, I'm going to pay. You're my main man. You know, it's a pint, and I'll
Well,
pay.
he's not saying that the guy, if the cow is found, that he actually has to give him double pay. He could keep it for himself.
Right.
He doesn't have to.
You're right. But the presumption of the base thing is that if the thief is found, that the owner will have gifted that double payment to the guard in recognition of the fact that the guard was prepared to pay up
Well,
front.
I would reckon everybody has got the same nice nature.
It's not that nice. It's like a tip. It's like an incentive scheme. If you pay me up front, I'll give you a chance.
To say, you know what? I'll give you something.
So if he says that explicitly, then great. The problem is, as usual, yet again, we don't know because they didn't say anything. They were just down the pub having a chat. Yeah, but the witnesses.
That's it. They can't get out of it. Sure.
Well, right. My point is that we know what was said because there were witnesses, but we don't know the meaning of what was said, or at least the Gemara is trying to tease it out. What exactly did he mean? So the Gemara says, right, okay, I got this much. If first of all he said he wasn't going to pay, then he said he is going to pay. Bottom line, he said he's going to pay. Fine. Now the Gemara says that I get, yeah. Ella, rather, you're gonna love this. Amar, he said, Harin Misham, he said, I'm gonna pay. Right? Fine, good. The owner is pleased as punch. And as the jukebox thumps out the next song, and we turn the page. Connie joining us. And then he changed his mind. He said, I'm not going to pay. No, it's the other way around. So it's a different case. So first he said, I'm going to pay.
No, first he said, I'm not going to pay.
No, we changed. We do different case. Different case. So hello, Colin. Welcome. And we wish you well, Kanai. It's fine. So you're with us, and that's the main thing. The Chazam Amar, and then he changed. So again, just to fill you in, Colin, he started off by saying, the guard started off by saying, I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay you up front for the lost cow. And the owner says, you're a diamond guy. And in his mind, the owner's thinking, because you said you're going to pay, if it turns out it was stolen, I'm going to gift you the double payment from the thief. And we're all smiles. But then the Chazam Amar, then the guard changes his mind. And he says, actually, no, I'm not paying. You build me up, you knock me down. So now the Gemara doesn't know what to think about what the owner thinks. Says the Gemara, what is the deal? Me Amrinon, do we say Mahadeka? We're now the just coming to the second line on 34b at the top. Me Amrinon, do we say David, you with us there?
Yeah.
Great. Me Amrinon, do we say Mahadeka? He changed his mind. Well, if he changed his mind, says the owner, I no longer think he's such a nice fella. He's trying to dodge payment. So I'll take it to Basin, I'll exact the shavur from him, and please God, my cow will be found by fair means or foul. And as for him, well, he's no use to me at all. And if the cow isn't found and a thief is found and he gets a double payment, I'm having that payment myself. I don't own this God anything. What a pig he is. He said it, he said he'd do the decent thing and pay me out, and then he changed his mind. Well, it's just not very nice. He could have paid up front. After all, the cow did dissipate on his watch.
Now I'm paying nothing. He built me up, he knocked me down, and if the cow is found, he's getting nothing.
That's the only things.
Yeah, but why would I think of giving such a person like that, even in my mind, I'm giving him nothing? There's no way I would think.
So you're saying, what's the Gemara's question?
Yes.
Yeah. Not that. Yeah, you very good. Yeah. So we're on tender. What is the Gemara's question here? Obviously, if he changes his mind, and that's that. It's all very unfortunate for the owner because for 1 minute the guard was going to do the decent thing. Then if you know what, I'd rather spend that money on a night with the lads here in Dog and Duck, in the snug, rather than I feel like I'm giving away more about this than I ought to, but there we are. Rather than keep the money and pay him tomorrow morning, when my head clears. No,
Right, your face tells all the story.
it's terrible. In my purple nose, yeah. So,
Rabbi, are there any time limits attached to any of this about when money has to be paid?
the standard time limit for a debt is 30 days.
Okay.
Again, we're in the dog and duck. They don't talk about a term of payment, so presumably it's 30 days.
Right.
And then he can send a bailiff in. And like I said, we're talking with the basin has minimal information because these two clowns didn't actually think to specify anything. They just had this chat, over their beers. So we've got to piece it together as best we can, and it's not easy. But there we are. So, Reverend Levin, I'm coming to you. On the one hand, the owner says, well, I'm not going to give him any favors. I'm not going to gift him the chance of the double payment from a thief. Bottom line, he said he's not paying me. He's not going to make good the loss of this cow. So I'm out of pocket. Okay, fine. He can say that it was stolen and his own involuntary guard. But at the end of the day, he's not meeting me halfway here. He's not meeting me at all. He's retrenching within his rights. He's taking his Bible oath in a basting. He's going to walk away scot-free. I walk away with an empty barn. I'm not happy. So there's no way, says the owner, I'm going to gift him the chance of a double payment if a thief is found. No way. He's not done me any favors. I'm doing him no favors. That's one side. Then the Gemara comes in with a killer blow. Second line. Oidilma, or perhaps Bamilse Koi. No, says the owner. He's my best mate. We've known each other since primary school, and now look at us, two elderly men, and we've supped many a pint here on these very benches. And there's no way he's letting me down. There's no way he would go back on his word. He's my mate. He's my good friend. I was his best man. He was mine. So why, says the owner, is he going back on his word? And I said, it's okay. But he's just putting me off. Because he knows that I'm a bit impulsive, and he knows that tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., I'm going to be banging on the door saying, where's the money? Where's the 500 quid for my cow? So he's saying, it's just putting me off. But really, when his ship comes in, he's going to pay me my 500 quid. You know what? He's fabulous. He's never let me down. He's such a staunch mate. It turns out they've stolen. I'm going to give him double payment.
Was he born in Chelm?
They all were. This is the dog and duck in Chelm. Yeah. The hint and the hin. Yeah. So we've got these two sides. When he changes his mind and says, actually, I'm not going to pay, is he rescinding his offer altogether, or is it just a delaying tactic?
Or are they drunk?
Well, we have to see. Yes, it absolutely does.
Right. So this is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So they
no.
know what they're saying.
So it's me talking about the dog and duck, really. I just want to have a sort of the environment. That's over. Yeah.
And it was an honest guy. He didn't drink. I can't show you. I haven't got it.
That's the Gemara's other side. You're right. You're right. That's the Gemara's first side. If he changes his head, he changes his mind. He changes his mind.
His last decision, the final decision, right? Sure, it's the final decision.
So we don't. The Gemara says I don't know, because on the one hand he said he's changing his mind. On the other hand, maybe he's just trying to put him off.
He's a joker. Well,
Yeah,
he knows
maybe.
old friend, he knows him.
It's larking about. Yeah, they just.
It's not larking about to a basin, would you?
It's not in Basting. It's in the dog and duck. It's in the dog and duck. You're right. If this was in Basting, it would be a different matter. But this is among the fug of the tobacco, and the.
I'm getting worried about you now.
Amid
So
the
we're having a drink in the other shikurim.
Yeah. In between darts games, it's like it's just like balagan. So we're trying to work out, what does the owner actually think? And the Gemara said, don't know. This is the Gemara's question. Now then, Ramban comes in with a genius point. He says, wait a minute. And I've actually got notes for this Ramban, Plina, that I'll circulate on the WhatsApp group after. Ramban comes in and says, don't get this. Because there's actually an argument elsewhere in the Gemara, or elsewhere in Rishonim rather, and it's based on a questionable text in a Gemara about the point at which, in a legal process in a Beis Din, the die is cast, and you can no longer go back on things. And certainly, if somebody has taken his oath on a matter, then once you've taken your oath, that is it. We can't do anything that goes against the implication of an oath as a shavua. Because a shavua, an oath, is a very serious matter. And there's no way the Beis Din is going to treat an oath lightly and say, well, he said this, but we're going to do that. No, you can't go against what an oath says. But what if the Rishonim, the Rishonim people around from medieval times, the rabbis, the great rabbis, you've got Rashi, Rabbi Natan, Tosfos, Rambam, and so on, and others. So the Rishonim deal with this, where if somebody says, I'm going to make my oath, and they basically say, fine, is that the end of the legal deliberation? Can you go back on your word if you said, I will make my oath? I will take it.
Not on the oath. Not on the oath.
So you're not
go
making
back on the money.
He said
you can't go back on the oath.
He said he will make the oath.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't go back then.
So it's argued. We can argue the toss on this as much as we like. We're not going to get anywhere.
We go to the rising sun. You go to the dog and duck. I'll go to the rising sun, and we'll have it. You can't always be on your. Can't be on your manor all the time.
I won't be seen dead in a rise and a bunch of secrets. I'm not going nowhere. We're going there. I'm the ducks are classic.
Can't make me laugh.
sorry. And I'm in the sinking moon. All right, that's where I go. What's the classic establishment? Okay, so it's like this. Rabbeinu Tam says that until you actually make your oath, you can go back. But Ramban says, and he proves it, that once the Beit say, okay, fine, you'll make your oath, and then the outcome will be whatever it is, depending on that particular case. He's not made it either, but it's a Gemar Din. It's a legal conclusion. You will make your oath, and then this and that will happen. And once a Gemar Din has been reached, once a legal conclusion has been reached by the Beit Din, that is also irrevocable. You can't go back on a Gemar Din because it brings the Beit Din into disrepute. If they come to a legal conclusion, then we just toss it out the window.
But what if it comes to like, okay.
That's different. That's different because then the Beit Din have got new facts. Fine. But once the Beit Din's deliberations and their conclusion, based on the facts they have now, are sacrosanct. It's a religious matter. We take the deliberations of a Beit Din very seriously. That it's a sacred trust that they have to execute justice. So, Ramban says, once a Beit Din has reached the conclusion, once it's a Gemar Din, that's it.
Somebody takes an oath who is not known to be trustworthy or
we won't let him make an oath. If he's lost his reputation, we assume everybody is okay. Once he's been known to be a perjurer, we will not allow his oath to take place. So Rabban takes this a step further and says, if somebody says, I will take my oath, that is also a Gemar Din. You can't go back from that.
But somebody says, I'm prepared to make an oath.
Yeah, that is a Gemar Din. That is a Gemar, and you're not allowed to go back from that either.
I mean, somebody who says, no, I'm willing, I will stand there and say, I didn't do this. He's not telling me. I'll swear on it.
Yeah. That is it. If somebody says they'll do that, that is it.
Fine.
That is it. So, what if the God says, I will take my oath that this cow was stolen, and as a voluntary God, I'm therefore exempt? So, according to the Ramban, he can then no longer go back on his word. He's not allowed to. Therefore, when he goes back on his word and says, actually, I'm check I got this straight. Hold on, please.
Is anyone talking, or has my feed
No,
gone down?
I'm just thinking. Just
Oh,
want to
okay.
Gone down.
I just want to
Sorry.
make sure you're right. Sorry, I'm
You're
so
right.
sorry.
Your ears have gone numb.
Okay.
I really like it's not a big deal. I normally ask. Okay. I think it's like yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I guess yeah, cash for bank transfers.
Right. Okay. So that's right. So let's look at this like this. The guard first of all said, I'm going to pay. Then said, I'm not going to pay. Maybe, says Ramban, when he said he was going to pay, that was also a Gemadin. That's it. That's the end of the matter.
Not necessarily, because he said he was going to pay. He went to your pub because his friend was going to give him the money.
Right?
And he said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to give it to you. So he has to go and say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So
So Ramban says, I'm going to make it harder. Ramban says, now we're not talking in a pub, we're talking based in. Let's say, says Ramban, because we don't know exactly where this conversation took place. So Ramban says like this. Maybe the Gemara is talking about a conversation not in a dog and duck, but in basting. And the guard stands up in basting and says, I'm going to pay. So the Dayanim say, right, that's the end of the discussion. Then he goes back on his word and says, actually, I'm not going to pay. I'm not paying.
That's it. Once you said it, that's it.
Right. Well,
you can't go back.
the problem is, says Ramban, again, I'm going to make it harder, that in Bastin, he said, I'm going to pay you. They go down the pub to celebrate, and then in the pub, he says, I'm not paying.
Isn't what he says in the based in binding?
Yes,
So
it is. Yes, it is. So Ramban says maybe it's like this. And the reason why the Ramban says this is to show you that however hard you make it, the Gemara is still going to work. So he's making a construct that is especially difficult. They're in basting. And the owner said to the guard, what are you going to do about my cow? So the guard says, I'm going to pay. Great. 3 hearty cheers. What a wonderful man. Dayanim beam on him with approval. Everybody's happy. They go down the dog and duck. And then the guy said, no, not paying. Sorry, change my mind. And this is the Gemara's question, says Ramban.
So weren't the other guy runs to the basin and said,
Hold on. You're quite right. Hold that thought. Now so you will all rightly say he has no right to do that. What the guard says now has no relevance. Because once a decision has been arrived at and based in, that's it. And Ramban says, after a Gemadin, you can't go back on your word. So what the guard says now in the pub is irrelevant. But Reverend Levin saves the day. How so? Because what will go on in the owner's head as they sit around that table? The owner won't think, what was the Gemadin? There was a conclusion in based in, and that's what I care about. Therefore, I'm still going to give him the chance of a double payment if the thief will be found. Will the owner think that? Because at the end of the day, we had a conclusion in based in. No, he won't. The owner was saying, I Reverend Liver, oh, what an idiot. Now I got to slip it back to based in.
be a liar.
Well, he's getting back. We know what he said in basing. We got a record of what he said in basing. He just said 5 minutes ago he's going to pay. And now he turns around to me down the pub and says, no, so I'm going to step him back to it. You know what he's going to do? He's going to bolt. He's going to run away. I'm going to have to track him down. And I'm going to have to...
This guy is.
Yes, they are. But at the end of the day, it's me. I'm the one who's going to have to fix a time with the basting and come along and summons him. And that's going to cost. and then I'm gonna have to, spend time tracking him down, and he's gonna say, I can't do this day, can't do that day. I can only do the New Year's Eve at 4:30 p.m. When nobody's around. Oh my goodness! Or Friday afternoon. 5 minutes before Shabbos. That's the only time we come to basting. So even though, yes, says Ramban, his statement in basting of saying he will pay is binding and irrevocable. There's no coming back from that. The owner will still bear a grudge against him when he subsequently says, I'm not paying. Because now he's playing around. He's an idiot and a clown, and I've got to track him down and take him to basting just to enforce that decision that he made irrevocably before. Do you think I'm going to give this man a double payment if a thief is found? Absolutely not. What an idiot. What a time waster. Oh, just as you said. So
You tell him, Rabbi. You tell him. You tell him, Rabbi.
Thank you. Sorry, I get carried away.
Yeah, you tell him. It's good.
Love your passion, Rabbi.
Yeah,
sorry?
exactly.
Love your passion.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, nothing personal. So the Ramban says that even though halachically, once the guard has said he's going to pay in basting, that's not the point. The owner is only going to gift the chance of a double payment from a thief to the guard if the guard makes it easy for him. And yes, his decision in basting is irrevocable and binding, but if he's now going to faff around and run me around the weekend when I try and find him and get into basting again, no, says the owner, he has forfeited his right to the double payment. So according to the Ramban, this is exactly the Gemara's debate.
Why shouldn't be any thought or talk about a double payment where somebody says to a basting, yes, I will pay, and then he says, out of the basin to the owner, oh, that's why I said I'm not going to I'm not going to pay you at all.
Right. So you're saying the guards behave so disgracefully. What could the other side possibly? What shadow of doubt could there be that then will give him a double payment?
Who's lied to a basting?
Right.
That I should have any thought of rewarding.
I'll tell you. The Gemara's on the side. He just putting him off. I know him. I know he's barks worse than his back. He's all bluster, and when he says he's not going to pay. Oh, I've heard this 1,000 times before.
Why would you lie to a basting?
No, he wasn't lying. He wasn't. He is going to pay. Steady on. He is going to. This is the other side of the Gemara.
So why is he telling the guy, no, I'm not going to pay?
Because he can't pay now, and but he doesn't want to say straight out. It's a bit uncomfortable to say in front of all his mates that he's got a cash flow problem. So he'd rather come out with this, and it creates a bit of kerfuffle and whatever. But he's an idiot. He's an idiot, and he says, and what he means is, I can't pay now. I'll pay next week. That's what he means. But he doesn't want to say it because he's an idiot. But we know this is just this man. This guy's an idiot. Oh my goodness! What a palaver! What's a fuss? Pay the money like a mensch. No, he's got to.
The owner goes to the basement and said, now said he's not paying me.
Yeah.
But they're not saying he's an idiot. He will pay. They're going to say that thing.
Well, the basting might say, "Oh, we know this guy. He's all talk. Let him calm down, and next week he'll come give you the money." This is just what he does. We know what he's like. Bless him. He's been a character in our village for years, and this is just how he is.
But Rabbi, what if he went back to the Beis Din and said to them?
Yes, he would. I'm sorry.
If he went back to the Beis Din and said, "Look, he's not this guy. He's not this kind of guy that that the Beis Din know. He's quite an honourable guy. Okay, in fact." And he's going back and he said, "Look, I had every intention to do this, to pay this." And we went down the pub, and unfortunately, the guy that was giving me the opening money, etc., this is why he's stupid, I guess. But unfortunately, I was let down. But I did have the intention when I was in the Beis Din to pay, okay, and circumstances changed. And unfortunately, I now can't pay. Does the Beis Din say to him, "Okay, you're off the hook," or "No, we're going to hang you"?
This is the Gemara's question. I'm not telling you. Sorry, I can't because in the Gemara's question. Okay. But yeah, you're in there. So again, one more time, let's just get this clear. according to the Ramban, yes, indeed, once the guard in Beis Din has said, I'm going to pay, that is the end of the judgment. So there's no question that this is the ruling. But the Gemara still has a doubt about whether the owner will give him the double payment. Even if you say like Ramban, that once the owner said once the guard said he's going to pay, that's the end of the matter and it is irrevocable, doesn't get rid of the Gemara's doubt.
Why has the Gemara's got a doubt when it says at the end of the best thing, you agree pay, is paid. End of story. So why is it
I'll tell you why. Because the question is not what the halacha is. The question is what's going on in the owner's mind.
That's impossible to know.
No, we got to know. That's our job.
But then basically say he did this at Prankster, he will pay you. He's made no.
Well, that's one side of the Gemara, but the Gemara doesn't. So let me just repeat that for the so the Gemara says here's that question. On the one hand, maybe when he said down the pub he wasn't going to pay, it was just it was just all talk, and he says, "I'm definitely going to pay you." Oh, it's just having him on, or he's putting him off to next week, or we know what he's like. We clap him on the shoulder and say, "Yeah, it's fine." Or on the other hand, maybe he really is a scoundrel, and he really has changed his mind. And although the Beis Din ruling is irrevocable, he's going to play hard to get. He's going to play hardball and make this owner really work hard to get his money.
What about the severity of the shavur?
Well, this also the Gemara has a doubt about. Does he actually take it seriously or not?
But he's a friend of his, right? They've been together at school. You said they've grown up together, known
Yeah,
for years, right?
yeah.
So the guy would know. The owner would know. He's playing around. He'll pay up. Just pick it up.
Well,
out,
so
you know?
the Gemara is saying when we're not sure.
What's the Beis Din saying though?
We don't. The Gemara is saying all I have to. I haven't been talking about a dog and duck. Well, he's not actually going to make a show in this case because he said he's going to pay. Well, that's not our case. That's not our case. The case where he said he would pay, and then he said he wouldn't. So he didn't make a show.
Yeah, he made the shavur.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He said he's going to pay. That was done.
Then in the pub, he said, "Up the Beis Din," he says, "I'm not paying."
Or he says
The Beis Din, he said, "I will pay."
then he wouldn't make it. Then he wouldn't make a show.
He won't.
No, he doesn't need to. He's going to pay
So in what case will he make the shavur?
when he says I'm not paying. Okay, sorry. Somebody was saying something on the Zoom.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay, all right. So again, the Gemara's question is like this: if he said in Beis Din he's going to pay, Ramban jumps in and says that means it's an irrevocable sack, an irrevocable ruling of the Beis Din. It cannot be questioned, and we agree to that. But it won't make the Gemara's question any less relevant, because the Gemara says, "Well, I don't know." On the one hand, when down the pub he said he isn't going to pay, did that mean he's actually just changing his mind illegally? And the owner's now going to have to trouble to take him to Beis Din again and get the Dayanim together again and wait for his money because the guy's mucking him around. In which case, the owner will not give to him the chance for the double payment if a thief is found, because the owner says, he's messing me around. He's not my friend at all. Or, says Gemara, perhaps, like I said, we clap him on the shoulder. We say, yeah, we know you're going to pay next week.
Rabbi,
yeah.
a thought just popped in my mind.
Huh?
Is there anything, let's just say that he changes his mind because something much more important has come into his life. Maybe he needs to help someone, someone's ill, someone hasn't got any food, and needs that money for a mitzvah and something that he is deeming more important after he's made the decision in the Beis Din. Does that have any relevance?
Not to the owner. No, I mean, because he says, "I want my money." It's all about you're doing your mitzvahs. That's all very lovely, but you can't do it if it's going to impoverish me. Thank you very much. Right. I got my cash flow to worry about. Last week I had a cow. Now I've given it to you to look after. You said you said you look after it, and now it's gone. I'm not happy anyway. And now, not only that, you muck me around in Beis Din, you make me look a fool, and I'm really not pleased. Or alternatively, maybe he said in Beis Din he's going to pay. That really was the end of the matter. And when he says down the pub he's not going to pay, he's just a blowhard.
Well, on the way back from the pub, he's had too much to drink, and he gets run over.
Then you go
and he hasn't paid him.
You go to his heirs.
And then what?
You go to his estate to get the money. You know,
So it's binding. It's binding.
yeah. I mean, I'd wait till after Shiva. You'll have a heart.
Yeah, just about.
Hashem Yiracheh, you know, yeah, but that's the deal. So this is the Gemara's question according to the Ramban. Even if you say a halachic ruling in Beis Din is irrevocable, and this was a halachic ruling because he said he's going to pay, and that's the end of the matter. Nonetheless, says Ramban, the Gemara's doubt will still exist. After that halachic ruling, was he going to make it hard for the owner, force the owner to take him back to Beis Din and go to all that bother? In which case, the owner will not give him a double payment. Or the Gemara says maybe when he says this afterwards that he won't pay, he was just mucking about and having a bit of a laugh, but really he is going to pay, and it's just his charming way. We know what he's like, you know, we'll dig him in the rib and say, yeah. In which case the owner will give him the double payment. This is the Gemara's question. The answer will have to wait till another day.
And it's not going to be straightforward.
It's not going to be straightforward at all.
What is nothing?
Nothing is. Okay, so that's all for today, folks.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alan, unfortunately, we wish you well. And,
Thank you. Thank you.
Alan, we wish you a warm end of your day. Yaakov, thank you for coming as well.
Thank you.
And to all the people here as well, Yisakeh. And
Thank you. Shikoyach.
And to all the people listening on the recording, thank you for listening on the recording in the future. Bye-bye.
No. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
You too. Bye.